In this second video, we're going to just go through a couple more examples. Miss Grimmick has been teaching at Gowanna 1 year longer than Mrs. Turnock. Write an expression for the number of years that Mrs. Turnock has been teaching. So again, the first part is the table. This is not new. We've done a couple lessons on tables. I'm going to put a G for Miss Grimmick and a T for Miss Turnock because those are the two that we're comparing. Okay, if Miss Grimmick has been teaching 1 year longer than Miss Turnock, so if Miss Turnock has been there for 1 year, Miss Grimmick has been there for 2 years. If Mrs. Turnock has been teaching for 2 years, Miss Grimmick has been teaching for 3. Then I can go on and continue on my table. Mrs. Turnock has been teaching for 4 years. Miss Grimmick has been teaching for 5. Okay. We have also done lessons in the past on how to write an expression from a table. Okay. In this case, I want an expression that shows how long Mrs. Turnock's been teaching. So I want to say, how am I getting to Mrs. Turnock from G, from Miss Grimmick? So G, how am I getting there? So I could say I am subtracting 1. Does that work for the whole table? 3 minus 1 is 2. 4 minus 3 is 1. So I'm subtracting 1. So it's G minus 1 is going to equal Mrs. Turnock. So my expression is G minus 1. And that way, when I do know how many years Miss Grimmick has been teaching, I can subtract 1, and then I can figure out how long Mrs. Turnock's been teaching. Next example. The farmer's market is selling bags of apples. In every bag, there are 3 apples. Use the table to write an expression for how many apples there are. So I've already got my 2 labels, bags and apples. Okay, if I have 1 bag, it tells me in the problem that there are 3 apples in each bag. So I'm going to write 3 apples in the 1 bag. If there were 2 bags, that's 3 and 3. That would give me 6. If there are 3 bags and there's 3 in each bag, I'd be up to 9. And again, if I'm 4, I'm up to 12. So I'm going through the table kind of quickly because we've done tables a lot in the past. Okay, writing an expression for how many apples there are. So how am I going to get to apples from bags? So I'm ending with apples. So it's got to be B, and then what am I doing? Adding or multiplying? Well, let's see. To get from 1 to 3, I could say I'm adding 2. But I'm not going to stop there. I want to make sure it works for the rest of my table. If I did 2 plus 2, that is not going to equal 6. If I did 3 plus 2, that's not going to equal 9. So it's not going to be plus 2. So I'm thinking, how else can I get from 1 to 3? Okay, I could say that I am multiplying by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Does that work for the rest of my table? If I do 2 times 3, that's 6. If I do 3 times 3, that is 9. And if I do 4 times 3, that is 12. So if I want to know how many apples there are when I don't know how many bags, I'm going to do bags times 3, and that's going to give me apples. So bags times 3 is going to be my expression. So I can even write that down here in expression. That way, when they tell me how many bags I do have, then I can figure out how many apples there are. And here's the last example for today. Shanna went to New York City and took a cab almost everywhere she went. Every mile of the cab ride cost $2.25. So I'm going to fill out a table because I want to write an expression. Okay, the table needs 2 labels. I'm going to label it for every mile. There is a cost. So M for miles, and I'll put C for cost there. Okay, and then you're going to fill out the rest of the table. Okay, 1 mile is $2.25. 2 miles would cost $4.50. Okay, double it. 3 miles would cost $6.75. And then 4 would cost $9. And again, I'm filling out the table quickly because we've done tables a lot in the past. Now I'm figuring out how I'm getting from miles to cost. Okay. I could be multiplying by 2.25, $2.25, and that's going to work for all of them. So I'm doing miles times $2.25 is going to equal the cost. So this here is my expression. And that is what I'm going to do. So really today what we did was we worked on our tables again, converting them to an expression, because in the past lesson we talked about how to input a letter or number